Russia's control over Crimea is increasingly tense in the context of Ukraine repeatedly attacking Moscow's targets. According to experts, more than 2 years after Russia launched its military campaign in Ukraine, Moscow's control over Crimea, which was once considered Russia's jewel in the crown, is really tense. Mr. Robert Murrett, former Vice Admiral of the U.S. Navy, said that, in stark contrast to the significant advances that Russia has made in mainland Ukraine in recent weeks, Ukraine has largely won the battle. Black Sea. Russia's Black Sea Fleet has suffered heavy losses after Ukrainian raids since February 2022. Russia has controlled Crimea since annexing the peninsula from Ukraine in 2014, but Kyiv has vowed to take it back. Former Ukrainian naval officer Andriy Ryzhenko said that over the past decade, Russia has intended to use Black Sea bases in Crimea to project maritime power towards southern Ukraine. However, this Russian plan is facing challenges due to Ukraine's advances around Crimea. Russia is believed to have lost its flagship Moskva in an attack using a Ukrainian-made Neptune missile early in the war. Kyiv also announced the downing of a Russian Kilo-class submarine in a Storm Shadow missile attack in September 2023. Ukrainian Navy drones destroyed the Russian missile corvette Ivanovets in February and successfully raided several Russian landing ships. In mid-February, Ukraine announced it was targeting the Caesar Kunikov, a large landing ship, near the southern Crimean city of Alupka, southeast of Russia's naval base at Sevastopol. The attack further depleted Russia's relatively scarce amphibious fleet. Today we have increased security in the Black Sea and given additional impetus to our forces, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced shortly after the attack. Mr. Ryzhenko said that the loss of this type of ship is limiting any amphibious operations that Russia can carry out. Ukraine has expanded its reach into eastern Crimea, including the Russian port of Feodosia and the important Kerch Bridge connecting the Crimean Peninsula with Russia's Krasnodar region. On March 5, Ukraine's military intelligence agency, GUR, released a video showing Magura V-5 unmanned boats crashing into the Sergei Kotov, one of 4 Russian Project 22160 patrol ships. Kyiv said the ship was near the Kerch Strait and local sources confirmed the Kerch Bridge was closed overnight. The Ukrainian side said that the attack caused the Russian warship to sink. British Defence Secretary Grant Shapps said in December that Russia had lost 20% of its Black Sea fleet in the previous 4 months, adding, "Russia's dominance in the Black Sea is being challenged." Ukraine's persistent attacks, in which Kyiv often uses naval drones and Western-supplied cruise missiles, have pushed Russia east of the Black Sea, threatening Moscow's security in conflict. Around the Crimean Peninsula. Daniel Rice, a former special advisor to the head of Ukraine's military, said Russia has no choice but to move east. However, according to him, Moscow lost control of Crimea in doing so. Former U.S. Navy Vice Admiral Robert Murrett said that Russia is forced to expand its port infrastructure in the eastern Black Sea because its facilities around Crimea, such as the main base in Sevastopol, are at risk. Russia has moved some military assets to Novorossiysk, a port city on the Black Sea. Reports also suggest that Moscow is planning to build a new military base at the port of Akamchir in Abkhazia, a breakaway region of Georgia. This plan will push Russian assets in the Black Sea even further away from Ukraine's coast. Former Ukrainian naval officer Andriy Ryzhenko said Russia is now much more cautious about ensuring the safety of its larger, newer ships in Crimea and has moved some ships to Novorossiysk. 2 of Russia's basic assumptions before the conflict in Ukraine were certainly to gain control of the airspace and control of naval forces in the Black Sea. However, they failed to achieve both goals. This goal, Ms. Rice said. Ukraine has also exported millions of tons of grain across the Black Sea. But this does not mean that Ukraine has gained control of these areas. Russia still dominates much of the Black Sea, even if this is restricted to the northwest corner because of Kyiv, Mr. Ryzhenko said. He said this is what is known as a gray zone where no country can establish complete control.